John Eats Cheap doing something out of the freezer again. Another pound of ground beef. What do we do with ground beef? Well, one of my favorites growing up was Hamburger Helper Hash. I mean, we ate it. You can't even buy it anymore, and I miss it. So now I'm going to make some homemade ground beef hash. We had baked potatoes the other night. Anytime I bake potatoes for dinner for Mrs. Cheap and I always throw in a few extras so we can chunk them up, to make home fries, fried taters. Uh,
We
Home
can
fries, I think everybody knows them by, are chunk potatoes.
We never go through a bag of potatoes fast enough with
No.
just the two of us.
Yeah, so you need to go ahead, bake them up, put them in the fridge. These have been in the fridge for a few days, so I'm going to dice these up kind of small, do some burger, some seasoning, and fry it in bacon grease. Save your bacon grease or bacon fat. Yeah. That's extra flavor. And it's out of the fridge, the pantry, and the freezer. Cheap meal, and we're going to have lots of leftovers, and I'm good with that. So we got our pound of ground beef, drained what little fat we had on it. Now we're going to create some more fat. Bacon fat, because pork fat rules. That's what we're going to fry our diced potatoes in. A couple tablespoons. Some people buy this off the shelf, but you can make your own. That's what I do. All right, we're going to melt that down, and then we'll add our diced potatoes, which I have right there. You can see how chunked they are. That's just 2 potatoes.
That kills me, how many potatoes you get out of that.
I know. That's a lot of hash. But you know what? I could eat it every day for a week, and I probably will. I'm just on like a medium-low, medium heat. Smells bacony already. Now, I did season my ground beef with, I call it my burger seasoning. It's seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. That's it. Kind of the SPG, salt, pepper, garlic, with a little onion thrown in. Now, these don't necessarily have to get crispy, but we do like a little brown on them. Look at that. That's 2 potatoes. Holy cow. And you think when you, I don't know how many potatoes, I got 8 pounds of potatoes, I think. And this is 2 out of the 8 pounds, which was probably, I don't know, a dozen, 15 potatoes. Buying potatoes fresh and making them your own, if you bake them ahead of time and make hash browns, or if you make fries with them, whatever you do, potatoes are really cheap and filling. So there's our taters. I'm not going to lie, I added a couple more tablespoons of bacon fat just to get them a little brown. But those are about done. So I am going to add some minced onion. I like a lot of minced onion. And our ground beef, cooked, of course. I'm just going to mix that up a little bit. As I mentioned, I seasoned the potatoes with salt and pepper. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of au jus mix because we have it, and just for some beef flavor.
We have plenty.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on there, beef flavor for the taters and the beef. And they have this when you could get the Hamburger Helper, but those were dehydrated potatoes, so you added water. I'm not going to add water to this. Just, I don't know, a couple tablespoons of the mix and stir it up and let it finish. You could use bouillon, beef bouillon for sure. I'm just going to add a little more beefy flavor. I hope. Turn that heat down, let that go for a few more minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. And there we go, ground beef hash out of the pantry and the freezer. Now, full disclosure here, Mrs. Cheap, we both ate a lot of Hamburger Helper growing up, and apparently I liked it more than she did. She liked the cheeseburger mac, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I loved all of it, potatoes, stroganoff, but this was my favorite hash. Now, this isn't Hamburger Helper because they don't make it anymore, apparently. I sure can't find it anywhere. Used to be able to get the knockoff at our Hy-Vee grocery store. It was called Hamburger Partner or Ground Beef Helper or something.
Pan Burger Partner.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't even make that anymore. Not that I can find. So I just made my own. And there's a lot of it here. Gonna be eating it for a while. Like I said, I am fine with that. You could eat leftovers with eggs for breakfast, or I'll have it for lunch, dinner, morning, noon, and night. 2 leftover baked potatoes and a pound of ground beef. Little bacon fat, a little bit of seasoning. Season to taste. Which I did, and it's great. Is it sad when I say, oh, it reminds me of Hamburger Helper? A meal out of a box? But it does, and I miss that meal. Hey, make sure you give us a like, a share, a thumbs up. We sure appreciate it. It helps out our channel. Give us a follow if you don't yet. More stuff like this. Cleaning out the freezer. Our freezer is looking really good. I can't wait to show you at the end of the month, and we may have to go another month. Probably will. We're ready to eat. Mrs. Cheap will eat this, won't you?
Yes.
Okay, she will. I think the homemade potatoes kind of help a little bit. John eats cheap.